Since it's a happy Pride Month here, of course, on the Jess Cagle Show. You, in 2010, you came out as being a member of the LGBTQ community. And I wanted to ask, why did you make that decision? But also, what did it do for you personally to make that announcement publicly?
I felt like it was being my authentic self. And I also feel like there is, unfortunately, still enough stigma associated with coming out for various people in various places, that as it wasn't something that I felt confident and comfortable with, that it had the potential to open doors for conversations that might be harder for people to have without having people in the public eye to be like, well, actually, this person did that and it's really no big deal. And it felt organic. And I mean, everyone in my private life knew. So it just felt weird being assumed to be straight because I was married to a man.
Right.
And also because I'd always been very vocal about, our community, that the context of, but why, you know what I mean? Like, other than, I just think it's basic, like respecting humanity and human rights and, all of that, but that it's personal as well, So it didn't feel like a big deal to me, but sometimes, when especially like having participated in social media, I was a little late to the game, but especially like when younger people reach out and, talk about things that they're going through and struggles with coming out and their families. And if it in any way makes someone else feel better, less alone, less like they don't have anywhere that they're going to be accepted, then that's kind of the point. You know what I mean? Not that I want to give myself over too much importance, but, you do end up getting, in this wonderful world of the crazy internet, encountering people who do tell you that it meant something to them and made it easier to have conversations or feel okay about themselves. And, that's really important to me.
I love the way you will engage. Sometimes people will say, something stupid, particularly about bisexuality, which is something that even people in the gay community will pile on sometimes. But you very firmly, but very eloquently will sort of clap back a little bit at that. And I think that the way that you have that discussion on social media has been incredibly valuable, especially for people that, are dealing with that in their own lives, young people who feel like they want to come out and be authentic.
Well,
I think it's been helpful.
I think the whole sort of bi erasure thing is very real. And I personally, I understand that people confuse bisexuality with, frankly, open relationships and polyamory. And that's sort of where people usually enter the conversation of like, well, so what does that mean if you get married? And it's like, actually, it doesn't, that's entirely your business, what your marriage is like. But actually, that's a really massive misconception that people sort of throw at you, or that somehow your relationship you're currently in means, because if I had fallen in love with a woman and lived happily ever after, I would still be bisexual. That wouldn't erase that, And I think that for me, it's not just important for me to feel like I'm showing up in the world as my authentic self, but I think I've encountered a lot of other people who face similar sort of complexities and sort of having other people understand their lives. And the other thing that's really interesting to me is that people are very quick to say, oh, it's too much information. Don't tell me what goes on in your bedroom. It's like, actually, I didn't. I didn't tell you a thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually talking. It's like, in some passing, it's like, oh, someone's straight. That doesn't tell you anything about their private life. Just that when they are selecting a partner, they're looking at people of the opposite gender. Whereas if, you were bi, the pool includes both. It's really not, it's not as complicated, I feel like, as people try to make it. And also, I kind of, on behalf of all of our community, kind of take offense at it being too much information when any LGBTQ plus people talk about their gender or sexual identity. And yet no one has that reaction when straight people reference their wife or their husband. Nobody goes, oh God, that's too much information. And I think just the more we have open conversations, the more likely it is that one day there will be a time when it just won't be a big deal. But while it's still literally illegal and punishable by death to be LGBTQ in multiple countries across the planet, yeah, I'm going to keep talking about it.